All right, what's happening, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Dave Kudrak. Hope you are having a good day. Thanks for checking in. Today, I want to talk a little bit about the difference between creating and consuming. I know that might sound a little bit boring, but hear me out. I came across something a while back. I forget where, but it was the idea that you should create more than you consume. And that's really kind of the key to happiness, right? I'm not saying it's going to solve all your problems, but for an overall better, more satisfying life, you should focus on creating more than you consume. So I want to start off with kind of the difference between creating and consuming. It's pretty self-explanatory, but there are some things you may not have thought of, right? Some examples of consuming obviously would be like, eating or shopping. A big one in this day and age now is scrolling, right? Spending all day on social media, Instagram, YouTube, all that stuff is a major form of consumption, right? You're consuming social media. Examples of creating, cooking food, and maybe you like to build furniture or creating any kind of art, whether it's painting or taking photographs or sculpting. Writing is a good example of creating, right? You're creating ideas, thoughts in your head and putting them on paper. That's a great form of creating, right? Whether it's journaling or writing stories, writing articles, writing full-blown novels. Exercise is another form of creating, right? You're creating a better, more healthier version of yourself, right? Physically and mentally. There's plenty of studies out there that show the mental benefits of exercise. Also, a good one I want to talk about a little bit is memories, right? Go out and do something that's going to create a memory. Spend time with your family, spend time with your kids, spend time with your loved ones. Go on vacation, right? But hear me out. Vacation is obviously a form of consuming, right? You're spending money and time, on maybe a little weekend getaway or just, going someplace for the day. I grew up, my parents were pretty much broke, so we never really went on these lavish vacations. Every couple of years, we'd do like maybe a weekend. Like I live in the Northeast, so maybe we do like a weekend in the Poconos or something, staying at roadside motels, so I could see Bushkill Falls and Dingman's Falls and stuff like that, right? But those are fond memories that I have, right? So yes, you can consume things in order to create memories, right? The key here is, though, make sure you're creating more than you're consuming. I think back at some of my less happy time, and a lot of it center around when my consumption levels got really high and I wasn't creating much of anything. When you kind of you get into a rut in life and you feel like, things just aren't going well. I was in one of those ruts. There've been several, obviously, like everybody else, but there was a time in my life where I did not really do anything for myself. My priorities were shifted to other people. I didn't play the guitar. I didn't indulge in any kind of hobbies that I enjoyed, and I wasn't really creating anything, right? I was spending a lot of time catering to other people's needs, which is a good and admirable thing, but you should take some time at least to focus kind of on yourself. Spent a lot of time on social media just consuming and doing, the doom scroll or mindlessly scrolling, going down various rabbit holes on the internet. It's really not a great existence when you're constantly consuming. A lot of people shop when they don't feel great. Yes, it does help, in the short term. It makes you feel good. You buy a new shirt or you buy a jacket or all that stuff. And yeah, it helps, but it's a temporary solution, right? It's a temporary fix where if you were able to take some time to create something, right? Again, it could be anything art related. It could be anything that you enjoy, right? It could be gardening, right? It could be anything, right? When you take that time to create something, it leaves an impression, I think, right? You can go back and look at that thing or listen to that thing or remember that thing that you created and be like, yeah, like I did that, and have a sense of pride to it, right? How many times have you been mindlessly scrolling on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever, and all of a sudden an hour goes by or maybe 2 hours go by? How many times have you really felt good about that, right? How many times have you really said like, oh man, I'm so happy I just watched 2 hours of people falling on their faces, right? Two hours of fail videos or 2 hours of political commentary and all. Like, how many times have you come out of that rabbit hole and felt good about it? I'm guessing 0, right? If anything, you've come out of that time more angry, more depressed, right? Things like that. I started this YouTube channel pretty recently, and my goal was to kind of share a little bit more about myself in order for you guys to get to know me better, right? And then hopefully, be interested in the things that I do, whether it's music or just if you just come here to catch a video or two. And then even in the short time I've been doing this YouTube channel, I've come to realize that I really enjoy getting a positive message out in the world, right? I am no like psychologist or anything like that. I have no credentials when it comes to mental health or anything like that. All I can do is kind of share my experiences, and I'll be upfront with you. I'm not going to get too personal when it comes to my experiences. I'm not going to get too specific. Let's put it that way. But I will share parts of my life as examples of kind of what I've been able to overcome and how it's improved my life, right? But yeah, just this concept of creating more than consuming, I think is a really big one. I know a lot of people who do yoga or meditation, and I still see that as creating, because they are creating a healthier mindset. They are creating a quiet space in their mind or in their life in general, right? I mean, life is so noisy right now. It's noisy all the time, but I think there's so much noise in life, more than there ever has been, that people do need to take time and get lost in themselves a little bit. It will certainly help. Just from my own experience, I have spent a lot of time over the last 2 years focusing on creating more than consuming. Sure, do I go down the rabbit hole on social media sometimes? I do, right? And I'm never really happy about it. But I've noticed that since I've been trying to build a little bit of a business around music, I'm creating these new opportunities for myself. I'm creating a YouTube channel. I'm creating basically a brand for myself, right? These are all things I'm creating that I am just overall a happier person, right? Because I feel proud of the things that I do throughout the day, right? Like, once I get done shooting this video, I'm going to be proud that I did that, right? So yeah, when you create stuff and there's either a physical product that you've made, a physical outcome, something you can hold in your hand and be like, yeah, I made that, or what, that's awesome. Even if it's not a physical thing, I think that's amazing. That's something you can be proud of, right? Even if you don't share it with anybody, right? It's something truly for yourself, right? I do want to talk a little bit about kind of the pluses and minuses of social media. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos on how to create a YouTube channel, how to try to build a presence on YouTube and other social media platforms. I've watched a ton of YouTube videos on becoming a better guitar player, becoming a better songwriter, becoming a better singer, recording my stuff in a better way so it produces a better quality recording that I can release on Apple Music, Spotify, whatever. So I do consume a lot of YouTube, but it's in an attempt to educate myself so I can create more and better things. Same with TV, right? I don't watch a whole lot of TV. I do prefer to watch like the Food Network so I can learn a few new dinners to cook for me and my kids rather than watching like the Real Housewives of Orange County, right? I mean, no disrespect to that show, but if you can convince me in the comments that watching the Real Housewives is a form of creation, please have at it. Anyway, the main thing I want you to get from this video, and something to just try to live with on a daily basis, is asking yourself, is what I'm doing a form of creation or is it a form of consumption? And if, more than 50% of your day is consuming, then really try to make an honest effort to reevaluate the things that you're doing and come up with ways that you can create rather than consume. And it's going to be, it's not something you're going to be able to do overnight, right? A lot of our consumption is based on habit, right? How many times do we wake up in the morning and just instinctively just grab our phone because that's what we do? Or how many times do we get in bed at night and instinctively grab our phone and just scroll for like a half hour or an hour before finally putting it down and trying to go to sleep? So anyway, I hope you got something out of this video. I apologize if it doesn't have a whole lot of content. But let me know what I missed. Give me some ideas in the comments of how you create versus consume, right? Or some habits that you're trying to break that are consumption based and want to turn it around. All right? Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.